Let's talk about the 7 small things women can do for big results in leading themselves and others. Tell me how it is that you came to be involved with doing this.
It's a really good question. I kind of looked at my own life and friends, and we talked about some of the issues that we have with our families and children and organizations that we're in. And these are highly successful women who are just, really kicking the bucket down the road in terms of what they're doing in their professional lives. And very often we don't make that transition from what I do professionally to what I do personally. And so what I wanted to do was to do exactly that, to look at us as leaders in our own home. We're leading our families, we're leading ourselves. By families, I mean our children, it could be relatives. We're leading what they're eating, what schools they're going to. So the kinds of actions that we take in our professional lives will help us to lead our personal lives. And that's how I came to put this topic together.
Well, that's interesting because I have seen many people who are, as you say, really doing it, kicking that bucket down the road at the top of their game professionally, but they maybe can't get it together in the rest of their lives.
That's true, and I think it may be how we view the rest of our lives, that it's not really the rest of our life, it's one life. Mm-hmm. And we're leading various aspects of that life. So if you look at it as a wheel, the parts that we have are really spokes of that wheel, and we're in the middle of that wheel as that little hub. So what we know, what we believe, what is tried and true for us will work in all of those spokes of that wheel if we think about it that way. Mm-hmm. So planning a camp trip for your 8-year-old is really not that different than planning a business trip to yourself to go to Madrid. You know, what am I going to do when I get there? What are the pieces that are going to cause me anxiety? What can I fix on this side? What I might not be able to handle? Who can help me? Those are all of the questions that you would then apply to finding a camp for your 7 or 8-year-old.
Mm-hmm. And that's important because I would imagine that as chief executive officer of your household, your staff members, your small people, your spouse would be looking to you to say, okay, lead me down the path in a way that this is enjoyable, fun, and a growth experience instead of one of terror.
Exactly. Boy, I can't wait till we get this tape. I'm going to capture that, Valda. Very well said. That's exactly the point. And that's where our stress comes from, because people are looking to us to help them accomplish whatever they need to accomplish. And we're just kind of tight about it, you know? Whereas you go to the office and you send your employees all over the place. You have meetings. You decide what the budget is going to be, and you do all that with the snap of a finger. And then you come home and you're perhaps not applying those same skills, or maybe not in the same way that you're applying them at work. And this topic says that it really is just all one thing, if I can use that word. I have a speaker's colleague who tells me not to use the word thing because it's not powerful.
I know exactly who she is.
It's not a powerful word. It's not a powerful word. So in some instances, I change it to small actions. But in this case, I wanted to use thing because women understand thing. You know, we know what that means. And so there are seven things or 7 actions. And I'll tell you what the actions are and then give you a little bit of feedback of how I see them.
Okay.
The first one is to have a simple definition of leadership. That's action number 1. The second one is leverage your personal and professional attributes. The third one is to understand the power of small. The fourth is the art of refinement. 5 is being prepared, polished, and powerful. 6 is having a daily spiritual practice. And 7 is know the people on your leadership team.